In this movie, we're going to take a brief look at recursive functions. A recursive function is simply a function that calls itself. Now, an innate problem with recursive functions is that it is very possible and easy to set up a situation in which the function will continue calling copies of itself forever. It works in a very similar way to a while loop or a for loop. You have to put in a condition at which point the function will stop calling itself. Otherwise you end up with an infinite loop, and the computer gets stuck within that loop until it runs out of memory and gives you an error message. Let's take a look at an example so we can see the way one of these things work. Most functions do not call for recursion. Only very specific kinds of functions generally call for recursion. One example of that would be a function that I made quite recently to answer a specific need I had, which was to show all the elements within a multi-dimensional array. It's very easy to loop through a single dimensional array. You simply either use a for loop or you use list and echo as we found in an earlier chapter. However, with a multi-dimensional array, we have no way of telling if we're going to feed this multi-dimensional array into a function and expect the function to return all the elements and, for instance, simply echo them. It would be very difficult without recursion for the function to determine how many arrays there were within the array, since a multi-dimensional array is essentially an array of arrays, or even possibly an array of arrays ad infinitum. The function needs to be very flexible, and it also needs to ensure that it escapes and terminates from the loop and stops once it's found all the elements. So, let's have a look at the way our function could work. We're going to call our function show all elements, and it's going to take one argument, and that will be the array that it's going to be dealing with. Then we're going to need a for loop to loop through all the elements of the array. I should add that this kind of function rather, will only work for numerically indexed arrays. I would have to rewrite this function in a slightly more complicated way to allow for associative arrays, but for the moment, let's keep it relatively simple. So this for loop loops through each of the elements in the array, and we're going to assign the element variable to the element of the array that we're dealing with, just to make it easier to refer to. Now that the for loop has been executed once and it's looked at the first element in the array, the first thing it has to do is to determine whether this element is a simple variable, in which case it should echo the variable, or whether it's an array itself, in which case we're going to have to deal with it as an array. We're going to use a function called getType. What getType does is it returns the type of whatever variable we put as its argument. So that's a good way of testing whether something is, for instance, an array. So if the element is another array in itself, then we're going to have to deal with that. We'll deal with that later. Let's leave that line blank for the moment and have a look at what we'll do if it's not an array. We're simply going to echo the element, the contents of that element, with a line break. And then we're going to close up all these trailing curly brackets here. Now this line is the crux of the point in the function where we're going to need to use recursion. If the array is an element, then we're going to have to show all the elements within the array. So the best way to do that is to use the function itself to work through the array that we've just found as an element of the parent array. And then, in turn, when the show all elements function is run using the element as the argument, then any arrays that are found within there will be passed to a new copy of this function, and so on and so forth, until every element has been found, at which point all the functions will have finished operating. This is not a return function. This simply echoes all the elements it finds to the browser. There's no return made with this function. Let's set up a multi-dimensional array, and we're going to try and make this one, although all the elements are going to be string variables apart from the other arrays within the array, we're going to try and make this one a very irregular shape to deal with. First of all, we've got, as the first element in our array, we've got a single string variable, and then we've got another array with 3 elements, and then we've got, let's say, another string literal rather. Then we've got another array with a string as its first element, and then another array following that. And let's use an array with only one element as final point of confusion in this rather confusing multi-dimensional array. Then we're simply going to run the function that we've set up on this particular multi-dimensional array. Let's save that and take a look in our browser, and we refresh. As we can see, blue, green, turquoise, maroon, grey, purple, white. These are all the elements within our array that are not arrays themselves. So, as we can see, recursion can be very useful, specifically when we don't know exactly how many times we're going to have to run a certain function. But once again, I should state that caution should be used, particularly because it's very easy to skip out this kind of condition, the termination condition, which is going to make sure that the function will not call itself an endless number of times and therefore generate an error.